And we are recording.
All right. When last we left off, the Wolf Pack, after saving the leader of Yord, High Thunder Grog Skyfist, from a cursed assassination attempt, managed to convince the leaders of the city to ally themselves in open rebellion against the Empire, as well as plan an ambush against one of its agents, Black Blade known as Forden, also known as the Traveler. With the Grey Legion engaging his pirate forces outside of Thunder Keep, the pack ambushed Forden in the throne room with the assistance of the Wolf, Ingrid Darby, whose allegiance was secured after revealing the murder of her brother and the lies surrounding it. The fight was intense, with the clash between the Legion and Pirate going in the Legion's favor, while the pack and their allies dealt with the mobile half-orc assailant. After receiving some assistance in the form of being thrown to the upper levels, the Leonin barbarian Tez dealt what seemed to be the killing blow to the mysterious sailor, only to have his form disappear into a puff of purple dust and smoke smelling vaguely of seawater. With the sounds of battle lessening outside, the calm was broken by a Legion soldier running in and declaring victory. And that's where we're picking up. It is the 8th day of the month of planting. You guys have just finished fighting a very gruesome battle here in the throne room. There are corpses all over the place. Tez, you're standing over a big old nothing, as everything that Forden had carried and was made of is gone, moved away into a cloud of dust.
Damn him.
And the soldier comes into the main throne room from outside, the sounds of battle outside having died down, and yells out, "We've done it! The battle's over!" Wolfpack, what would you like to do?
How many dead people are we talking in here?
In here itself, let me take a quick look just to refresh my own memory here. There's about 10 dead pirates in here that actually left behind bodies, not counting the one that didn't, obviously. And as far as soldiers go, there's 2 dead soldiers in here. You do know that the bulk of the forces were outside, though, so that might be a little bit messier with the numbers. And as you're kind of looking around and counting up the casualties, you also notice that Finn and Garuk have both just passed out out of sheer exhaustion.
Oh, they're sleepy.
They look a little sleepy, yeah. I'm gonna go through the pockets of all the pirates.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
That's savage.
I will assist in that, just because.
Yep, both of you. Yeah, either both of you can roll, or one of you roll with advantage. As the High Thunderer hasn't taken notice of it yet, but the Legate starts looking at you guys doing this and is like, "Is this what you normally do to the honored dead?"
I mean, shrug, keep looking.
Shrug and keep looking.
He doesn't really know how to respond to that. Taylor, you do not find much. You find about through some of the bodies that you checked, about 50 silver pieces and about 20 copper. Nothing too fancy. Tyler, you find obviously you guys also find an assortment of pirate-related weaponry, daggers, stilettos, cutlasses, things like that. If you want them, none of them jump out at you as special or anything out of the ordinary. Tyler, you find one pirate who may have been like the second in command or something. He does have a small pouch of gold, about 30 gold in it.
All right, cool.
As well as a couple of flasks of rum.
Yeah, go ahead and take that too.
Okay. Yeah, the High Thunder seems to be just kind of coming down from the adrenaline high, and this hasn't really registered too much yet as he starts walking towards the main throne. The Legate starts having his soldiers get organized. They start pulling the bodies off to the sides to be disposed of later. Ingrid kind of just disassociates for a little bit as she's not really sure what she's feeling right now, and that much is very obvious just looking at her face. Tez, you're up on the upper balcony, and you just kind of notice one of the soldiers starts looking over at the way for you to get down instead of having to jump down.
I just jumped down.
He's like, "You can go this way." Oh, okay.
It's okay. I'll get down myself, and I'll hop down.
Just a real quick. Go ahead and give me a quick acrobatics check.
Okay.
It's not very. It's a very low DC.
Oh
You're fine.
shit.
It's fine. Either one of those rolls, you're perfectly fine.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was mainly just to make sure you didn't roll your ankle falling.
I
from,
wasn't even
10
trying
feet.
to look cool. I was just jumping off like, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, you land. You kind of crack a couple of the stones beneath you, but you're perfectly fine.
Oops.
No chance of rolling your ankle there.
He's a cat. He's cool.
Oh,
Usually lands on his feet.
Yeah.
did you see whenever I killed that man, his things disappeared?
Yeah, that was real strange.
As you say that, the legate like he stops in the mid order to one of the guards and goes, "Wait, hold on. There's no body up there."
No, he disappeared like a fart in the wind.
Interesting analogy. Okay. That's disconcerting. Really wanted to like examine the body, or if we could bring him back, interrogate him. That makes okay.
There's nothing. I hit him that hard with my hammer.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what did it. And he kind of looks over at Skyfist, who is still in that like coming down mode, sitting at his throne, breathing a little heavily at that point as the adrenaline's wearing off. He's like, we'll deal with that later. Can you guys go outside real quick and just make sure? I have soldiers, tending to the things, but it might help to get kind of a visual and see what happened outside.
Oh, yes, probably a good idea.
And with that, Finn magically wakes up after a mini little power nap.
Oh, hey, Finn.
What's up?
Oh, you're awake.
Yeah, what'd I miss?
You passed out from exhaustion.
Yeah, I was fucking tired. I got the shit kicked out of me in that fight.
They want us to go outside, check things.
Taylor and
Okay.
Tyler were going through the dead's pockets, and that man over there thought it was unbecoming of them.
Who said that?
I don't know.
The legate.
Oh! Okay,
I just shrug.
let's check outside and see what kind of damage was done.
All right. You guys head outside, and it's pretty obvious almost right off the bat. Some of the walls and the outer battlements of Thunder Keep were pretty heavily damaged from. It looks like in a couple spots there's heavy ballistas that have landed in the yard. A couple others you find the remnants of. Only because you've been to Corda before, you do recognize what a cannonball is. There's numerous pieces of shot and shell that have been fired down from the ship here and have damaged some of the walls. There are quite a bit of dead. The majority of the Grey Legion was out here fighting strong defense, as well as trying to secure the pathway up to, or however they were managing to get the men off of the Misty Step. They were going to try and secure that entrance. You don't see any sign of that. So as you kind of look around, but you do find a number of dead pirates. None of them were taken captive. They all fought to their last breath.
Oh.
So while there were about maybe a dozen dead between the soldiers and the pirates inside, there's close to 30 to 40 out here. Mostly pirates.
Jeez.
Hmm.
And actually, Tyler, go ahead and roll me a medicine check real quick.
Okay.
$14. With your between your passive and your medicine score, you start thinking how that battle sounded like it was going outside, and you're like, that number doesn't quite make sense. That number should be higher, inherently. And then you start seeing bits towards where some of the craters are from these shot impacts. You start seeing body parts that don't have bodies.
Ah.
And then you kind of get the sense, okay, that's why there's not as many visible Grey Legion deaths. Some of them got literally obliterated.
Well, that sucks.
That's probably not great.
But looking around, there doesn't appear to be any active fires. There's quite a bit of commotion coming from the city itself, but given that there was just recently a battle, that's fairly expected. Like I said, you don't see any sign of. You do kind of see where maybe you were told originally that there's kind of a gate spell that gets activated for people to disembark from the Misty Step. You kind of see out in the entranceway of the Thunder Keep where that spell had been activated. There's a lot of corpses inherently just around there, as well as some very well used grease that was suggested as part of that trap. But there's no sign of the spell itself being active. However, the ship is still up in the sky.
How high up is the ship?
About 800 feet.
Oh, that's pretty far.
I mean, I could fly up there, but I'd have to go alone.
Yeah, you can't turn into a big enough bird to carry one of us, can you?
Not yet. I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah, it's too far for me to dimension door, and I am pretty much spent. Oh, did my nap count as a short rest?
I'll say for the purposes of this, yeah, you were. It took them a hot minute to go through some of the bodies, and it was a very unexpected power nap. So yeah, while you guys were, if you guys want to take the benefits of a short rest, you can.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna, I guess, roll all my hit dice.
I'll roll some.
I was gonna say some of you took some beatings during that.
Oh shit, I was down to
I'm still
15
good.
hit points. Yeah, it was real bad.
Did I just get 16 hit points on one roll?
Yeah, because you have 12 or D12 plus
Holy
4.
crap!
Yeah,
Nice
that's
roll.
what happens. That's what happens when you roll a max on a D12.
Oh shit. 14.
But yeah, as you guys kind of finish taking stock out here, Legate Dorthak comes out, takes a look, and he goes, "Gods above, this is a mess."
Yeah, they fucking made a mess.
Yeah. He kind of starts looking around, finds one of the you notice the like commanding officers that you guys had kind of passed by every time you were coming in and out of Thunder Keep. You don't see any of them, but he does manage to flag down someone with a corporal's insignia and asks for a report. And the corporal just kind of mentions, "Well, after the initial like rush of soldiers, we ended up sending a detachment through the gate up onto the ship itself before the gate was disapparated. So we're not sure of their status if they're still up there. But not too long after that happened, maybe a couple minutes, was when the fire stopped coming from the ship. So maybe the ship's taken."
We should go check since we're going to take that ship.
Yep.
Dorothy kind of looks at you guys. "Well, I mean, technically it is a spoil of war. It's yours if you want it."
Oh, we do.
I'm sure Grog will approve of it. He doesn't really have any use of an airship.
No. Now, how do we get up there?
Well, that is a good question. He starts looking around. Corporal, find me a set of flags. And eventually the corporal does run off, come back with a set of what look almost like semaphore flags. And he has one of the other soldiers go and stand at one of the parapets on the wall and start making flag signals. And we're going to see if there's any response. He does this for about 10 minutes and there's no sign of any change on the ship.
Well,
Maybe they're all dead.
Let's hope that's not the case. I'd rather that ship be in our hands under our control than not. Especially with considering it has the firepower to level most of the city if it really wanted to.
yeah, it's too far away for me. I can't, like, I got a spell
I can go
that could get
scout.
me there.
Do you have a way of getting up there and checking?
I mean, I can be a bird.
Oh, that's genius.
Oh,
Can you
then-
send Elvis up there?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It'll be too far for me to like see through.
I could bring him with me.
Yeah, I'll send him with you.
All right.
All right. So what are you doing?
I'll poof into like a raven.
All right. And with that, a raven and a dragon begin the aerial climb up towards the ship. It takes a little bit, but eventually you do kind of crest over the side of it. And just for the sake of visual, ignore the captain's cabin part. You haven't seen that yet, but you do crest over the side of the ship and take a look, and it looks like the soldiers of the Grey Legion are there. There's a bunch of corpses of pirates all around. They're kind of still just taking stock of anything, and none of them have been looking over the ship for any kind of orders.
Okay, I'm gonna fly around and like see if I can get one's attention to like look down at the at the ground.
Go ahead and roll me just a general charisma check. One of the
Hell yeah.
soldiers, a Goliath. He's kind of messing with one of the heavy ballista that's up here on the berth. Kind of sees you, goes, "Boy, look at that fucking bird!" Starts aiming the ballista towards you, trying to see. And it's pretty obvious for like even from your crow vantage point as you're kind of flying around, just trying to get his attention. Like, there's no way he's gonna actually hit you with this thing, but he still goes through the trouble of aiming it and then firing a ballista way off into the mountains. Fucking bird.
I'm gonna like dive towards the ground and then come back up, like over and over and over again.
Well,
And then eventually, if that doesn't work,
eventually, like this one Goliath, he kind of writes you off. He's just like fucking bird being annoying and shit. One of the other guards up there finally takes notice of you and is like, "What the hell? Look, why does it keep going?" And he goes over to the side and looks down at you, and that's when he finally sees the semaphore flags. You're able to hear, "Oh shit! Hey, we need to get this thing. Can we try and dock? Does anyone here know how to fly an airship?" You all just kind of see him scratching their heads a little bit, like, do you? Shit. All right, let's check the captain's cabin, see if there's any notes on how to fly this damn thing. And the guard that had seen you walks off into the captain's cabin. Comes out about 20 minutes later. How long are you doing this whole spiel?
I mean, after he starts to figure out how to land, I'm actually gonna land on like the railing, like a railing of the ship, and just kind of
Okay.
hang out until I figure out that I need like to do something else.
Okay. It's about 15, 20 minutes later when he comes out holding a manual and trying to like figure out how to read it. Like, okay, oh, what the hell? Looks over at the mechanism for flying the ship. It looks similar to a ship's navigation wheel, but there's a few extra like levers and things to the side of it. He's like, hold on. Goes, finds a piece of paper, writes something, goes over to you because he's kind of figured out something's happening with you at being, a very attentive bird. I don't know what you are. Can you take that down there to them? Like, is that a thing you
I'll
can
grab
do?
it.
I don't know if you're. Oh, okay. Oh, and he kind of backs his hand away as you grab it.
And I'll just like look at him for a minute, and then I'll fly back down.
Hi, weird bird. Hopefully you're not taking my note to someone who doesn't need it.
I act like I'm just gonna take it somewhere else for a second, and then I turn back around and go to the ground.
Damn birds. You eventually fly down back into the courtyard. Do you turn back into yourself, or you just drop the letter off?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll pop back into my normal self.
Okay. You pop back into your normal self, holding the letter in your hand. The legate is kind of looking at you. So, what's the word? Anything happening up there? Are they all right?
Well, it doesn't look like any of them know how to fly this thing. So they sent this for you.
That makes sense. Takes the letter, reads it. Well, I guess we're about to find out how bad this is going to be. They're asking where we want to park it. Yeah, and he kind of waves over the semaphore flag guy. Tell them to try and dock it at one of the taller buildings over at Clifftown or one of the peaks if they can. They won't have to adjust elevation too much or anything from that point, but we're gonna have to figure something out or find someone who knows how to actually operate the thing. And the dude goes back up to the parapet and starts waving off the flags. And about 5 minutes later, the ship slowly starts turning ever so slightly towards the direction of Clifftown and very slowly making its way over the top of the keep.
Oh, it's moving.
Can I tell what building it's going to?
From this point, you can't. You just see it's going in the it's going less towards one of the buildings and more just towards one of the peaks themselves. There's a couple of the peaks over in Clifftown itself that, after a certain point, they stop building anything onto there. So they're probably going towards one of those just to get on top of the building and find a mooring point. There's no because airships aren't really a thing in the Empire. There's not really any set dock or a good place to park an airship in a town in the mountains. So it's more they're just trying to get it to the highest point they can in town and see if they can tie it.
Where's that smart dude? The zipline guy.
He would be over in Clifftown. He has his office there, if he's still there.
Because if I can get within 500 feet of the airship, I can teleport to it. But I'd have to go up like a building, and I can take one person with me. So rather than have these dudes crash it into the building, do you want to just have them? I mean, from the top of some of these buildings, could I teleport?
You could
Up to the
potentially
airship?
especially from Clifftown, you could teleport from the top of one of the buildings up to it. You could probably even try to do it at a certain point. Some of the wind lines themselves go up high enough that you could probably do it from there as well.
Oh, nice.
The
do you
Legate kind of
think?
hears you talking about this plan. He goes, I mean, it's worth a shot. Can't be any worse than they're not gonna. I don't think they're trying to crash it. I think that's. And he kind of looks at him how slow it's going. It's literally like a snail's pace at this point. Whatever's powering the ship or what normally makes it move. You don't think that they figured that out yet. They're just trying to get it general movement. The Legate just kind of looks at it. I mean, you can get close enough to get up there and figure it out more than they can. That might not be the worst idea.
Yeah, or if not, like I said, if not me, that windline inventor dude seems to be pretty handy.
Yeah, he can be. He's more of a, entrepreneur than anything. So we try to keep him out of any government business unless we can help it. But if he's willing to help, there's that.
Yeah. I mean, I got no problem. I can do this a couple times before I have to rest, and I can take one person with me. So, I could teleport up with somebody and then back down, and then I have to wait for an hour, and then I could do it again.
Well, yeah, if you want to get up there, see if you can find a better spot to moor it, or at least, a spot to keep it for now. Go right ahead. I won't try to stop you. I think otherwise the plan will be to try and tie it to one of the cliffs.
I mean, if you think they can get close enough to the cliffs to tie it off without crashing it, then I'd say go for it. I just didn't know.
I trust my men. I trust them all with my life. I don't know if I trust them with operating a device like that. So I think they'll do their best and try to minimize any damage, but if you think you can do better, I'm not opposed to you trying or assisting in any way to try and minimize that.
Okay.
You have my leave to proceed as you see fit. Let me put it that way.
Now, what do you guys think? Think we should go get this scientist dude and try to take him up to the ship, see if he can figure it out, or do you just want me to take one of you guys?
I think he'd be better than any of us.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Part of me wants just get in that goddamn thing, give it a fucking shot, but I also don't want to crash it.
But why would he help us?
I don't know.
I mean, we could always learn on the job.
He
we
might
just-
want to take this for himself, and that's not fair.
Yeah, he'd have uphill climb to take that, so I think we're pretty safe there.
I think you can figure it out. It can't be that hard.
I just look up at the flying ship. Huh. I don't know. What do you think, Taylor?
It's up to you
Like-
guys.
Like, you drive the wagon. Can you drive a flying boat?
I mean, I can certainly try. I'll definitely give it a try.
Your little fuckers can't, like, drive a boat, can they, Taz?
Oh, no. Jerry might be able to.
Isn't
He's-
Jerry the one that's always drunk?
Hey! Well, yes, he is.
Alright.
Tyler, you
Jane-
do remember there being some kind of manual that they were attempting to read.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there is a manual up there.
Okay. Well, Tyler can fly up. I can teleport one person up. So, Taylor, Tej, you guys want to fucking Rochambeau for who doesn't get to go up?
how about Taylor goes first? I'm not super smart at things like this, but I'm good at hitting things.
Can confirm.
You are good at hitting things.
If you
Agreed.
get up there and you notice that something needs hit, you come back and get me.
Yep, 100%. I'll
Okay.
get up there and then chill out. And then as soon as I can, I'll come back and get you. Actually, I'll go up there and come back and then get you as soon as I can. So, yeah, we'll climb through the, I guess, head to Clifftown. Like, just get to the highest spot as close to the ship as possible.
All right, that's easy enough to do. The ship is moving at a snail's pace. Like I said, it's like driving with the e-brake on. They're barely making any progress at all. So you're pretty easily able to outpace it, even with the process of going out of the Thunder Keep, climbing through some of the city's districts and streets. But eventually, it gets close enough to one of the buildings, and you're able to just kind of shimmy your way up onto there from some crates around the side. That you feel pretty safe that you're within your range for Dimension Door.
Okay.
And with that, you're taking Taylor with you.
Yep, because Tyler
All
can
right.
still turn into a bird and fly up, right?
Yeah, I'm just flying back up there. Yeah.
All right. Tez, you watch as Tyler turns into a bird and flies off, and Taylor and Finn just disappear in a puff of magic.
Oh, okay. I sit down and relax. I am in no
Easily
hurry.
done. The rest of you, some of you appearing a little more instantaneously than others, but you are all now on the deck of the ship. The 8 or so Grey Legion that had seen that were up here and were kind of trying to figure out how to operate this thing, all immediately stop what they're doing as they see you appear.
Hey, guys.
Then finally, the one at the helm is like, "It's fine. I recognize them. I'm assuming you're here to try and figure this out because this is not what we were trained for."
Yeah, so how'd this all shake out up here? Like, where's the rest of the pirates?
Well, they're dead, and he kind of points over towards one corner of the deck, up near the front of the bow, and there's just kind of like a loose pile of corpses that have been shuffled over there and kind of swept. In fact, one of the Grey Legion actually has a deck mop, and it looks like he had been starting to clean up some of the blood. The helmsman just kind of goes, "Yeah, they didn't leave a whole lot of, like, most of the guys came off of the ship to attack when they realized it was an actual attack. So we just kind of, after we, got most of them out and narrowed down with the grease, we just kind of went in and counter invaded and took out the skeleton crew really wasn't that hard. They were not great fighters, but this and he kind of like still messing with the wheel and one of the levers, and as he kind of presses one of it, the ship like it stops in a lurch. He's like, he like steps back, hands up. I'm just gonna let you guys.
Yeah, let me see that manual.
Yeah. He points over where they had it manual propped up against one of the other levers, and go ahead and roll me just a general intelligence check as you start kind of reading through
That'd
this.
be great.
This is to see how
It's gonna be
how
great.
well you follow instruction. Okay, yeah. You leave the manual propped up where it is. You kind of start going through it. You're like, oh, I got this. And you go, and the lever that he had touched, you're like, oh, this has got to be a brake or something. You slam it forward the other way, and like the ship, it hasn't been moving this whole time, but you do feel the ship suddenly drop about 10 feet and before catching itself again.
Oh, don't touch that
Okay.
lever. Okay.
Did that take an hour for Taylor to read the manual?
No, it did not.
I'm gonna look at that manual a little bit more in depth this time instead of just skimming.
What's
Yeah, I
going
think-
on up there?
Did you read that book?
I skimmed it.
Oh, maybe a little harder.
I thought maybe it
Back
would
into
have
my
something
normal
quick.
self and help him out.
Okay. Anyone who wants to can roll a intelligence check for this.
Yeah, fucking. I'm gonna take a swing at it.
I got better.
Yeah, Finn, you come to the same conclusion. Like, yeah, that's got like the lever he pulled earlier. That's got to be a brake of some kind.
It should have been a break.
Tyler, you figure out that the lever that he pulled is not actually a brake; it's the elevation adjustment. And Taylor, as you're kind of going through the book again, picking up, you finally realize, oh, the book, like the lever that the book is mounted on, is the actual brake, and that's why you're not going anywhere. It's
Oh.
literally been stuck because you have a book on top of this. But you figure out the controls enough that you can get this thing to slowly move to a point where you can moor it, as well as kind of adjust maybe not the elevation itself, but you can at least adjust your heading. So there's some elements to this. You guys have a little bit of experience with boats, with the ridiculous magical speedboat that you guys had in Corda. This is very much different from this, but there's just enough elements to it that are similar that you're not struggling anymore, at least. You're confident you can get this to a point where you can kind of stop it and maybe take some more time to actually figure out how to pilot this thing.
Yeah, I'll be studying that manual quite extensively.
Well, if he's got that handled, I'll start poking around the fucking captain's cabin.
All right. You go into the captain's cabin, and you see it's pretty well furnished. There's a little bed chamber, kind of just separated by a couple of shallow walls. There looks to be a dining table, and the very like stylized depiction on a globe of the empire itself. You notice that there's no other like continents; it's just all water, and then the empire on there, as well as a writing desk and a comfortable chair over in the far part of the cabin. Looking for anything in particular?
Well, I'll look at the desk to see like what the papers are, see if there's like orders there. You know,
Okay, go ahead
Like
and
some
roll an
kinda-
investigation check.
some kind of order that says like kill all the bad people in the north and take over, so I can give that to him. You said investigation. I'm
Mhm.
good at that. I mean, I'm not like good at it, but why the fuck? Oh, God damn it! Sorry, I'll turn off advantage since I probably shouldn't have had that. So, 20, unless you want me to roll it again.
It's fine. The 20. We'll take the 20. So at first glance, some of these papers are kind of scattered all over the place because the soldiers had to come in here and look for the manual, as well as just general mishap of coming in here and making sure nothing was going to kill them. You don't find any orders saying go to the north and kill all the bad people and take it over. Nothing even remotely as obvious as that. You do find a couple of papers that make absolutely no sense, and you get the sense that they might be coded, but you have no idea of any kind of cipher or anything like that. And at first glance, just no clue what to do with them. But you do find a couple of ledgers, mostly dictating repairs and just general ship costs and maintenance and things. that were all paid out to the Tinkerer. You also scattered among the papers, since everything kind of got shuffled around here on the desk and in the desk itself. You do end up finding a small locket, and inside of it is a stylized portrait of a bartender that you do recognize from Corda, Blue Tiefling.
Oh. Well, I'll sort all the papers into a pile.
All right.
And then I kind of went through the desk. I guess I'll go check out his little bed chamber.
Okay. Checking in there, you do find an extra set of leather armor, similar in style to what he was already wearing. What looks to be slightly well-worn but comfortable pair of sailor's boots, waterproof leather, and what looks to be a hat, very similar to his kind of tricorn hat, with a very ostentatious feather poking out of the top of it.
I'll take this dude's hat.
All right, you now have the pirate captain's hat. It is a normal hat. There, you pretty obviously not. You're not able to detect any kind of enchantment on it.
It's fucking. Nevertheless, it is enchanting.
Everyone takes a D4 of psychic damage.
That's right.
Yeah, sounds accurate.
You do also. I'll say with that investigation check is you're just kind of giving a once over to the room. You're also able to find the globe itself. It pops open at like cut in half and reveals a bar inside of it, with a few very select vintages of rum and brandy.
Nice. I'll pick one of the fuller ones. Fucking toss it to fucking Tyler. Once
Yep.
she's a person again.
Finn tosses you a 60-year-old bottle of rum that you've actually seen at a couple of bars in Corda before, and the last time you had asked about it cost a couple hundred gold.
Huh. This is some good
you go.
shit.
He didn't really have shit in there. I mean, there was some paperwork. Apparently, the Tinkerer fixes his ship, which we already knew. I don't know how much money he spent last time he got it fixed up. Oh, and I think this shit's written in code.
Code?
I don't know. It looks like gibberish, and that usually means code.
Can I see it?
I don't give a fuck. Here you
Uh,
go.
Yeah, what languages are you fluent in, Tyler?
Let me see if I can click it. Okay, never mind. They're Abyssal, Common, Druidic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Gnomish.
Okay. It does appear to be some kind of gibberish to you. However, every seventh word or so, you do find something written in almost like an abyssal script. Most of the words are just very commonplace words that don't really make any sense, especially when you're only getting 1/7 of the page. But towards the top, you do see one word that kind of stands out, and it says "pact."
Finn, this is probably something you're gonna want to keep a hold of. It says pact in it. I can't read most of it though.
Yeah. Oh, didn't the wolf say he made a pact with somebody else? Besides just that came up at some point, right?
From what knowledge Darby had, she thought that there might have been he might have been double dealing in supernatural powers. She wasn't too fond of them or the Forden himself, so she didn't know too many more, or many more details than that. It was always just kind of a rumor that she'd been hearing around some of the men.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this could be that.
Yeah, might be. I mean, it could be either, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth hanging on to anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't really find shit else in his cabin, or at least shit else that the soldiers didn't already get a hold of. I'll make sure to grab another one of those like good bottles of booze for those dudes too. Here you go, fellas.
Oh, the guy who had been helming the ship earlier kind of takes it, looks at it, he goes, "You're sure, sir? You do know this is a $350 or 350 gold bottle of gin, right?"
Sure, it's whatever, man.
He kind of like straightens up and goes, "Well, we're on duty at the moment, but," and he tucks it away in his pack. "We'll be sure to celebrate and toast your
Yeah.
name."
Pass that shit around. You guys fucking put in work.
As did you, sir.
Yeah, we did all right.
But it's about this time, Taylor, you're able to finish guiding the Misty Step over to. It's not, again, there's no like good place to dock it. There's not any kind of airship dock or even a space really big enough to bring this thing down to be docked. But you do manage to find a building up in Clifftown with enough aerial space near it that the ship itself can kind of be moored until something more maybe permanent, if needed, can be figured out.
Cool.
But with that, you get the ship moored. A drawbridge is extended onto the building so you guys can just walk off. Tez, by this point, you've seen where they're meeting, where they're heading on Clifftown. You just kind of walk up there to meet them as they come down off the ship.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to go do something else, I should probably ask. Do you want to do anything else?
No, Tez took a nap.
Fair enough.
Actually, someone would have had to have nudged me. Oh, okay, I'll follow them.
As we landed.
Oh, it's moving. Good job. So, is it easy to control this thing?
Fuck no.
Oh,
The manual's insane.
I saw it jerking around up there and I got a little nervous.
Yeah, the manual wasn't the most informative.
I'm starting to understand it now. Slowly, but
Okay.
getting there.
Well, did you look it over in there? Did you find anything interesting?
Found some like paperwork. Found some armor. I got this dope hat.
It does look good on you.
Thank you.
You're the new captain.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, I won't.
I'll let Taylor be the captain. He can fly it.
What do we do now?
Well, I'm supposing we need to go talk to. Since this all settled down, we probably need to go talk to like Thundernuts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Thundernuts.
I gotta go
The new
grab my
nickname.
Thundernuts it is.
The new
grab the wrong
nickname.
notebook. Grab the wrong notebook. That's not the one that has his name written down in. Oh, it's Skyfist. That's close. Skyfist, Thundernuts.
Thundernuts, close enough.
He gets it.
Pretty close.
Potato, potato.
Okay.
All right. With that, you guys head back to the Thunder Keep. Very quickly let in as they're still doing just basic repairs to the walls and kind of taking stock of the dead and things like that, as well as a smaller pile hidden by a tarp of what looks to be a couple of loose body parts that were found. You make your way into the throne room, which is already being cleaned. All the bodies were removed and the blood is already in the process of being mopped up. Grog, by this point, is still in his throne, but has come down out of his adrenaline high, and is just kind of up there talking with the legate as they both kind of look over. So, did you manage to take control of the ship? Is it officially not an enemy combatant?
Seems that way.
Yep, your dudes did most of the fucking heavy lifting, so commend them on a job well done.
The legate
Agreed.
is like all members of the Grey Legion will be greatly honored for this. They've done an amazing job, but we want to also thank you for helping the defense of our city. You could have very well just up and left after inciting a rebellion if you really wanted to.
Well, where'd be the fun in that?
Well, I don't know about the fun in it, as the Skyfist stands up, but you have my personal thanks. And in recompense, I want you to know that on top of being declared an ally of the city, all of you are being given the Misty Step as a war prize. We don't exactly have the facilities for an airship, and something tells me with the job that you are taking on against the Empire, you'll need all of the help you can get. So, the ship is yours.
It's greatly appreciated.
Hooray!
In addition to that, and he grabs a document off of the side of the throne that he'd been working on, rolls it up, hands it to the legate, who goes over and hands it to you guys. That document, if presented to the leader of, I'm assuming you work with the Voiceless. We've always heard the rumors about them. Present that to the leader of the Voiceless. Those are the terms of my alliance with them. Yord plans to stand as an independent city against the Empire, for better or for worse, after this event. If any other cities are standing in defiance of the Empire, we would be allied with them.
Well, that's next on our list.
All right. Well, thanks.
Oh, we go back to Oakland. You think we can snatch up that Imperial dickhead and like bring him up here on the ship and fucking toss his ass off?
I bet we could.
Oh, that's
I
a
really
brutal.
want to.
The legate kind of speaks up. What Imperial dickhead is this?
Lawrence something? Was that his name?
Lauren, that
He tried to arrest us.
Is he a legate? Guardsman?
I seem higher up than a guardsman. He was supposed to be like, I don't know.
He
what
wasn't a
guys- what-
peacekeeper, was he?
He's a jerk.
No, he led a bunch of peacekeepers.
Oh, that's not good.
I'll describe what he looks like. Like white dude,
Exactly.
brown hair.
You described Lawrence pretty well, if vaguely generic Imperial features. There isn't a lot of recognition on the legate's face. But he's like, if he was leading peacekeepers or any of the light blades, from what you were telling me,
Mhm.
he's not someone to be fucked around lightly with. I'd be careful if you're going after him in any kind of revenge.
Oh yeah,
I know.
no.
I know. Obviously, you guys are already in the habit of shitting in the Empire's coffee, but
Oh yeah, I mean he's getting maximum effort. This is gonna be like fucking half-ass deal. Like, I mean he tried to arrest us. The fucking nerve.
yes, how dare he try to uphold any kind of semblance of law?
We
He
were
tried
even
to
doing
kill
it
us.
illegal.
I mean, I think it was an ambush, right?
Yeah.
Fair. It does sound like an ambush, which
It was
is
a cheap
definitely
shot.
It is the peacekeeper style to do that, and they're not exactly well loved.
And at the time we weren't even really doing anything illegal.
Not really. I mean, you know.
Not
What
actively.
were you doing?
We were looking for we were supposed to meet a dude, like a contact.
Yeah.
Is that dude with the resistance?
Well, yeah.
That's why. Secret police don't exactly like it when you start secretly fomenting resistance.
I was trying to meet with the dude. I thought it was a little bit of a disproportionate
believe me, I'm on
response.
your side on this. I'm just saying, be careful with secret police. They're not exactly fun people to deal with. It's why Yord actually never allowed them to establish any kind of network here.
Nice.
So I'd be very careful though if you're dealing with them in Oakland. Oakland and Elvenon, they have a very strong presence.
Yep. we kicked over a little bit of a hornet's nest in Oakland when we escaped, so that's why we came up here. Well, we probably need to go back through there. We got to get them to make their decision to like walk away from the Empire too.
Well, friendly bit of advice, just as from a tactical standpoint, don't feel free to ignore it. Obviously, I'm not your boss or anything like that, but it's never a bad idea to check with your superiors after a success like this.
No, that's true. I guess we got this dope ass flying boat. We can get there pretty quick.
Yeah, I imagine you could, provided you figure out how to properly fly it. We saw the movements of it earlier.
Oh, that was your dude.
Go ahead and roll a deception check, just because not all of it was.
I hold of the book. I'm working on it.
Yep. Yeah, he lets that one go.
I mean, one of the times it was his dude.
Right. Well, like I said, the ship's yours. You're friends of the city. If you need anything from us, just let us know. We're happy to try and help where we can. Your call if you want to stay in the city for here in the keep for the night, or I don't know what you plan on doing here in the immediate future, but we'll be rebuilding and announcing to the citizens what's happened.
We should stay on our ship tonight. We should sleep there.
Oh, by the way, your elf friend, and he kind of like gestures over in the corner of the room, still passed out from exhaustion, is Karuk. Just kind of sitting over in the corner sleeping. If you want to take her with you, she'll probably appreciate that more than accidentally being left behind.
I'll go get her. I'll just go swoop Garuk up.
Easily done. She doesn't even register anything.
She's sleepy.
Well, she did take a bit of a beating in that fight, and she doesn't exactly look like a physically imposing person, so...
She doesn't weigh but 100 pounds. Not even that, probably. She's very light.
Take your word for it.
I just kind of toss her around like, see?
Easy now.
Oh. Sorry,
Give her
Garuk.
brain damage.
No obvious effects noticed. But she might have a mild concussion.
Oh, sorry, Garuk.
But yeah, the night is yours. It's not night yet. It's starting to get towards evening though. Word of the, as you kind of leave Thunderkeep, word of the battle and what's happened is kind of spread around a little bit, and there's some celebration as people are, happy for the independence and the rebellion, things like that, and also just happy to be alive. It's kind of, just a post-battle celebration here. Bit lively here in the main square, but there's also a bit of sadness because obviously there was quite a bit of life lost in the fight as well. So it's kind of an odd mood, but it's your guys' call the night as it's starting to get towards night and the partying starts picking up. What would you like to do?
Oh, I just want to get some sleep.
Sleep would be good. Some celebrating, maybe.
Do we
Yeah,
have anything to...
some light celebrating.
Anything
Yeah.
important we need to take care of? How much longer are we going to stay in this town? Do we have any planning to do?
I mean, we're pretty much ready to go, right? I mean, we got to take these terms to Papa Bear, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I take them.
Plus, who knows what might have changed? I mean, maybe like that torch dickhead popped up back up here, and they're gonna send us after his ass.
Oh, yes. That would be fun.
That dude needs to get the shit killed out of him real bad.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah, because there's only, what, 2 of them left?
Yeah, they're really going down quick. Or switching sides.
To your knowledge, Molly has switched sides. The wolf, who you haven't seen since the battle, I should mention, has switched sides ish. Still asterisk on that one, since you don't know beyond this, anything. The Traveler is dead. The Tinkerer, you know where she is. And the Torch, you have a vague idea of where he is. So, and then obviously the Blade himself.
Yeah, so I would, like, gently celebrate.
Yeah, and we're not gonna celebrate too hard.
And what's the
But we
red
did earn
leaf
it.
policy in the city?
Say that one more time.
What's the red leaf policy in the city?
It's nothing too strict. It's not. You haven't seen like open use or anything like that, but considering it's a wartime celebration, you can probably get away with it.
Well, then I certainly give that a shot.
Yep.
All right. The celebrations get underway. You guys partake as much as you wish to. Jerry definitely partakes, even though he and his 2 compatriots had absolutely nothing to do with the battle.
Oh, Jerry.
Yep.
You need to take it easy. Slow down. You're
I am.
embarrassing. You're going to embarrass everyone.
This is just vodka and cranberry juice. It's not even just
Oh.
normal vodka.
Oh, then you're okay. There's lots of vitamins
I'm
in that.
fine.
See, Jerry's fine. He drinks juice.
Yeah.
He's staying hydrated.
It's good for him.
Yes.
You see him walk off over into the corner of this kind of courtyard area and starts talking with a small statue, thinking it's a person.
Oh, we'll let that happen. It'll keep him busy for probably an hour.
He goes to try and make out with the statue and ends up passing out.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Perfect. Cranberry juice can do that to him.
As long as he doesn't chip a tooth.
But you guys spend the night as you wish. Where are you ending the night? Are you guys still have rooms paid for at the Inn of the Broken Skies? Or obviously you guys haven't explored the ship too much yet, so you don't know what the living situation on there might be just yet.
I'm not
Well,
partying, so I would carry Jerry back to his room at the inn and then come back and meet up with everybody. I think we should
Yeah, I
check
mean,
out the ship.
I'd go back to the inn eventually because that's where all of our stuff is.
Yeah, we could check out the ship tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine. Let's get some sleep.
Okay.
And I figured the inn's where the party was at anyway, so.
There's a pretty good amount of partying happening at the inn as well. So it's one of those, like, the city just came through relatively unscathed from what could have been an absolute massacre. So everyone is kind of in the mood for partying for the most part, other than those who, just lost loved ones. But those ones are probably getting drunk to forget at this point. So there's a lot of energy towards, getting that out in the open. But you guys eventually, the night winds down. You all head back to your rooms at the inn and sleep it off. The next morning, you all wake up. Some of you hungover, some of you not, depending on how well or how much you imbibed last night. You do find Garuk still passed out. Looks like at some point she snuck out in the middle of the night, got drunk, and then came back.
Oh.
That's unsurprising.
But the day is yours. What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, I guess we're moving out. Tej, you want to bundle up Garuk and just take her up to the ship? find a place
Okay.
to stow her.
Yes. I'll throw Garuk's stuff on my back and swoop her up and
All right, easily done. You
Sure.
swaddle her up in her cloak like a little elf burrito.
Oh, okay. She's so cute. She's a cute little psychopath.
Then one of her daggers pokes you in the back a little bit.
Oh.
But you guys head back up to Clifftown, along with your halfling compatriots after waking Jerry up, who was very confused because he thought he made out with a smoking hot blonde last night.
Oh, Jerry. That was a
But,
statue.
I don't believe you. I think you're messing with me, boss.
Okay.
Yep. The love of my life. I missed her.
No, dog,
Alas.
you legit tried to fuck that statue.
You smell like a gin
Real
mill, Jerry.
personality on that one.
I'll find her again one day, and just as walks with you guys. You make it back up to the ship, though. There was a guard posted on the ship, but as you guys kind of come over and take over, they're like, are you taking possession of the ship now? We were told to kind of just wait here and make sure nobody else took it until you guys did.
Yep, we're shipping off.
All right. We'll go ahead and disembark, and safe travels.
Yeah, you too, man. Enjoy that sweet taste of freedom.
We're going to try. And with that, you guys get onto the ship, pull the drawbridge. I'm going to say, Taylor, you had enough time to go over the manual a little bit more to be more familiar with this. Go ahead and roll me one more intelligence check. This is just to see, at this point, you know how to use the ship. Now you're going to see how efficient you can be using it. Okay.
Absolutely
You're
average.
still there's still a bit of a learning curve, but more the basic operation of the ship, as well as how to navigate it and things like that. So you're able to, after the ship has been released from its moorings, the drawbridge is pulled back. You're able to use the levers and the wheel itself properly to pull the ship back up to a proper elevation and start heading off in the general heading.
Oh.
So you're not cruising as fast as you probably can, given what you've read in the book. This thing can actually get pretty fast. In fact, Tinker, when she was doing her initial testing, noted in the manual that she was capable of getting from Meridia to Hilltown in about 4 hours. So this thing can get to pretty quick speeds, and you're nowhere near that yet. But that's probably just from your unfamiliarity in how to use it. That'll probably get better.
Yeah, it'll take
So-
a little bit of time.
But yeah, you take it out over the redwood forest, a couple hundred feet above the canopy of the trees there, which they're already a couple hundred feet in the air, so you guys are pretty high up in the air at this point. But because of the tree cover, no one's really going to notice you as where you are as you guys exit the mountains and start heading towards where you believe Correllaria is. Once you get a little bit closer, you might have to do some finer navigating to try and figure out an exact entry point. The rest of you, as he's kind of navigating this, what are you guys doing?
Just fucking top to bottom searching that ship.
All right. So, there are 4 layers to this ship. I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown, and then we'll go from there if you guys are exploring further or ripping apart anything. The first layer immediately underneath the deck, or we'll start at the deck because the deck is technically a layer. The first layer is the deck. Obviously, here you can kind of see that block in the middle is the main mizzen mast that heads up. This thing does, in fact, use sails. Exactly, that one. This thing does have actual sails that come out from the bottom of it, as well as from the main mizzen mast there. So it does have a crow's nest, although you guys aren't currently using it. But if anyone were to want to somehow climb up even farther, you can. The kind of weird blocks here in the middle, you have no idea what those are, but they seem to be making some kind of humming noise. And Finn, you get an essence of magical energy coming off of it, some kind of arcane power. There are 2 kind of port and starboard mounted ballista used to shoot forward and out to the side a little bit. You have a bit of range on that, but you can't shoot backwards. But they're heavy ballista. These things could probably do some serious damage to either structures or They're big enough; they could probably shoot down most winged creatures, or do some serious damage to them. And then up on the bow itself, there's a lot of just basic survival supplies, rope, tack, cleaning things for cleaning the deck and swabbing and everything, as well as a small armory where you find a whole bunch more cutlasses, daggers, things like that. The second layer, so technically the first layer of the hold, is more of a community area. There's a galley there for any kind of meals, some basic storage of food provisions. This thing is fully stocked with a kitchen and plenty of food stores, basic rations, simple foodstuffs, rice, beans, grains, things like that for whoever wants to make whatever there. As well as just some more extra storage of general goods, water, 1 barrel of rum, 3 of ale that don't seem to have been used recently, along with a couple of other empty barrels. And then just some general ammo storage as well for the ballista. The second level is the crew level, and it's almost entirely made up of kind of barrack-style hammocks lit up or hanging from most places, 2 stacks, so 1 lower hammock, 1 upper hammock, almost like bunk beds, along with a couple of other separate compartments, probably for the first mate or any of the specialty officers on the ship itself. None of these compartments look well used, but most of the main barracks area look pretty well used. So you're kind of getting the sense that there wasn't really a strong hierarchy to this ship. Forden kind of ran things, and that was it. But there's enough rooms between the master cabin and the compartments down here. You guys have plenty of space to kind of pick your own room and set up there. And then the final level is kind of a dual part one. The back half of the ship is devoted to just a whole bunch of metal looking pipes, channeling what seems to be some kind of steam and some kind of arcane power. You guys would probably have to do a little more research on that to figure it out, since none of you are really like strong arcane based learned folk. So it's all kind of a mystery how that works. But you get the sense that that's where the power for the ship is. And up in the front half is a gun battery. There are a couple of cannons pointing straight downwards, as well as 3 cannons on each side pointing out on starboard and port, and then 1 cannon pointing out from the bow. So 9 guns total in this, along with plenty of storage for powder and shot.
So 9 guns on the dual part on the bottom level, and then 2 trebuchets on top.
Ballista.
Ballista, rather. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you say that crew level had nice rooms, like enough nice rooms for everybody?
They're kind of not so much rooms as just segmented parts. Like there's some walls, and you could probably put like a piece of cloth or a blanket or something to function as kind of a door. But because there's no physical doors to any of these rooms, but there's enough of space in there that you guys could claim quote unquote rooms down here.
Oh, should we use the captain's quarters up top as more of a common area or like a war room for planning? And then we could all sleep down here.
Works for me.
Yeah, that'll work.
And I'll include the description of the captain's cabin as this. You guys doing just a quick inventory up there. There is a pretty good space for a common war room, but the bed up there also looks really good.
Oh. Well, I was suggesting that just to be fair, but to be truthful, I don't mind either way. I'm going to sleep down here. But if we'd like to designate someone as a captain, by all means, take that room.
Let everybody roll d20. High roll gets the bed.
Maybe we can.
That would work for me.
We could just alternate who gets it every night.
I say we for Rochambeau. Somebody gets it.
What if that bed's for Jerry whenever he drinks too much?
Ugh, it's gross. No, he can sleep on the floor when he drinks too much.
Oh, he's stinky.
Wish all the time because he's an alcoholic.
Finn, I just have a quick question. I know you guys, you had kind of gone through the desk and everything, and sorted some of the papers. Did you do anything special with any of the other trinkets and things you were finding there, or did you leave them where they were?
Oh, I didn't. There were trinkets.
Yeah, there was the locket, and there were a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
loose items that you found there.
Yeah, I didn't fuck with the locket. I mean, I probably picked up to look at it,
Okay.
or unless it was like open and I could see who it was, in which case I just leave it alone.
Okay. Yeah, it was initially open when you had seen it.
Okay, then yeah, I'm like, oh no, that's Jessie, right? Is that her name?
Yes. I can't remember off the top of my head either now.
Sounds
I
right
think
to
it
me.
was Jessie Sapphire.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Got my notes where it used to be a mess. Yeah, Jesse Sapphire. All right. So yeah, are you guys just taking turns using that then, or are you gonna leave it? What's the ultimate plan here?
I say we flip for it. High roll
I say
gets to
flip
keep
for
it.
it too.
All right, everybody, go ahead and roll a d20.
Oh fuck, not me.
Oh, we know who gets that.
I'm out of this. You guys have your.
Yeah, definitely not me.
You know what? For the sake of it, I'll roll for Garuk just to see if she had a chance. Nope. Garuk's sleeping in the gun deck.
I'm sleeping on a cot.
Oh, I mean, you said they were like big enough, or there were bigger rooms down there. So basically, we're all
there's compartment, like they're kind of just sealed off, like so specialty officers could have a little bit more privacy. You don't really have any nautical knowledge, but you're familiar. You know how hierarchies work in general, just because of your experience with the guilds in Hilltown. And actually, you would have experience with like a barracks house and things like that. It's more meant just so that the people like middle management have a step above. They might not get a
it's the
whole
same
section
shitty
of
bed.
the floor to themselves.
It's the same
Yeah.
shitty bed. It just has walls around it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like an office in a McDonald's. Like the only purpose there is to just give a little bit of sense of superiority. But yeah, Tyler, you claim the nice soft feather bed up in the captain's cabin
All
as
right.
your own. All right. So, first day of travel, as you guys are kind of getting the hang of the ship, is anyone trying to, other than Taylor, obviously, learning the controls of the ship, or is anyone trying to learn any specific function of the ship in case they need to use anything?
Oh, I'll mess around with the cannons on the lower level.
Okay, what are you doing with the cannons?
I'll load one up and just practice just to see what happens.
Only you
All right.
can prevent forest fires.
And I'll put some black powder in it.
I need to know which cannon you want. Just another quick rundown. 3 pointing to each side. So port and
Okay.
starboard. You have three side guns. You have a bow-facing gun, so a gun pointing straight off of the front of the ship underneath the prow and figurehead and everything. And then you have 2 ventral guns that are just basically pointing straight down. These are the 2 guns. As you kind of check them over, it's pretty obvious these 2 were the most recently used, since they were firing directly down onto the castle that you guys were in.
I'll shoot straight down. Willem, come here and help me load this up. We need to practice. In case there's an actual fight, we need to know what we're doing.
Is this safe, sir?
Yes.
Okay. They go ahead and just roll me an intelligence check as you're trying to figure out the mechanical operation of a black powder cannon.
Oh, guys.
Only Tez can cause forest fires.
A dirty one. All right.
I've got this.
This seems pretty obvious. Yeah, you find like a satchel of black powder, and you throw it in there. You find a shell. You're like, yeah, that goes in next. And you put that in there,
Yes.
and you kind of seal up the breach. Find the wick for it. You just kind of look around. You're ready to light it if you want.
Okay, now here's the deal, Willem. I'm not super smart, so I'm definitely not going to be able to help fly the ship. But I know all about hurting things. So, and I light it, I guess. How would I
Okay.
light it? Would I
You
know
just
how to light
you
it?
Have, you have it's basically if you've ever seen a black powder cannon, they have
Uh-huh.
wicks that come off of them. You just have flint and steel. Like you can light
All
this
right.
thing if you want it that
The
way.
whole time I'm talking to Willem, I'm just like using the flint and steel to light it up.
Okay.
And then
You light
this is
it
what
up.
you do.
You light it up. The wick burns out. No bang.
Damn it. What did I do wrong?
You go and you open up the breech of the gun, and you pretty quickly figure out the cannonball and the black powder are gone. This is a ventral gun pointing straight down. It's not meant to be loaded with black powder. So when you poured a bunch of black powder into the back of a cannon,
Poured
it
right out of
literally
the
just
ship.
it poured it right out of the ship.
Oh, dang it. Well,
You do a little more searching, and you find some shells that are very specifically designated ventral.
okay. This makes much more sense. How many are there? Like a lot?
Here in the gun storage,
Yeah.
there's about 40 more shells.
Vonk.
You
Okay,
load up-
Willem.
all right, you load
Let's
up one of
give
the
this
shells.
a shot.
You light the wick. The wick burns out. All of you hear a very loud boom as a shot
Got
is
it.
fired from the first ventral gun and smacks dab right into the middle of a tree. And you guys kind of peek over the edge, seeing what the hell happened. And there's a couple of like viewing bays for you to see as well, Tez, what you did. You hit one of the trees dead center and have officially knocked down one of the redwoods.
If I yell from where I am, can they hear me?
Probably not. No, you're like 4 decks. You're literally on the bottom deck.
I
So
have
unless
no
anyone's
idea.
on it, unless
Finn!
anyone's on a deck below you or
I
above
mean,
you,
I'm
you won't hear
figured
it.
it
piloting, but
out.
I'm yelling like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Okay, Willem, we don't need to waste any more of these.
I don't
but
see
whenever-
Taz.
Somebody figure it out.
We'll be able to tell everyone how to use this.
I don't remember hitting anything.
I think Taz is working on the guns.
I'm heading up. Hey, everyone, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yep. I guess you figured the guns out.
I did.
Hell yeah.
Through trial and error, Tez, you have officially become the gunner of the ship. And you're also aware that the black powder and shot that's on there are for the side guns and the front gun,
Oh.
not the ventral. The ventrals are only to be used with those shells.
Yes, through trial and error, I've discovered it, and Willem helped. Bully for
and
me.
Actually, because you guys all kind of did the once over of the ship, Finn, you recognize the style of the ventral guns and the shells. They're vaguely familiar and reminiscent of something you saw in Corda once, albeit a much smaller scale.
Oh, these are like little versions of that fucking island killer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these to break continuity, these are basically artillery shells, modern, like almost modern breech loading, things like that, as opposed to standard black powder. So while 7 of the guns are still black powder and shot, 2 of them are more modern style artillery.
Yep. So you had the Tinkerer do, probably.
Yes. Well, this is a killing machine. We should be careful. We should all be more careful.
I
Definitely.
agree.
Willem,
What it wasn't that. Okay.
that's right.
It's cool, Willem. We had to figure out how it works at some point.
On the plus side, while he was trying to figure out the powder and shot, I think I know how to become a carpenter. just in case
cool.
we ever like take damage to the ship. I found a bunch of
Oh.
like wood storage and some hammer and nails and things.
Willem, you're
Nice.
making yourself so useful.
Although, you know, Jerry passed out on the wood, but I mean, we can
Damn
figure
it,
that out.
Jerry. Okay. Well, he has his uses for sure. I just don't know what they are quite yet.
All right. Well, that's 2 roles kind of vaguely figured out. While you guys are still traveling, Finn, Tyler, what are you guys doing?
Probably just like hanging out on the front of the ship with Elvis just
I was
flying
gonna
around.
try out. I was gonna try out the ballistas up front here, on like the,
Okay.
the deck.
It's easy enough to do. They don't seem too hard, and you kind of already saw how they were operated when, you know, a guardsman was trying to shoot you out of bird form. So, yeah, it's not too hard to wind the windlass back, aim it, and load a ballista bolt. Which, for the record, the ballista bolts are almost as tall as you. So it's a little awkward sometimes, but you just kind of slam it in there, lock it into place, and there's some very rude or crude iron sights that you can kind of aim at. There's still plenty of bolts, so you kind of take a couple of test shots, get a feel for it, and you could probably do some damage.
All right. Other than that, I'm just gonna be taking in the view.
All right, you and Finn and Elvis all just kind of take in the view here. Tyler, specifically you're this whole section of nature, the sky and things like that. This is still fairly new to you because you're just now, you know, figuring out how to turn into flying animals like this. There's something very liberating and freeing about having access to the open sky like this and, you know, breaking the earthly tether and soaring amongst the clouds.
Hey, can you put your
it's
big?
an odd kind of piece.
Oh, sorry.
Go
I'll turn to Tyler. Like, hey, can you put your little like bubble thing up here?
I don't see why not. Maybe set it on the floor so it's not like it's gonna fly away.
A what?
Oh, that
The
like
bubble thing?
protective field, like the thing that helps hide us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that can be done. Patching it to the floor, it's not too difficult. You can set up your little shadow bubble and obscure yourself.
Yeah. Won't be hard here at all.
Nice.
Finn, as you're kind of out here with her enjoying this, do you feel a slight tugging at the back of your mind from your, you know, for lack of a better term, passenger? Something familiar, almost like it feels it's enjoying the same feeling, but it's also felt this before. It's kind of a weird sensation because you've never done this. You've never been in a situation, you know, like flying amongst the clouds, things like that, or even your one real experience. Like you've only ever had like 2 experiences with boats, one of which was very violent, and the other one was somehow even more violent. So having this kind of calm on a ship and just enjoying the view and passage as you're going, it's not a familiar sensation to you, but that hole in the back of your mind feels it and is very familiar with it. It seems to still be enjoying it, even if it was enjoying it with someone else prior to you.
It's fun. Cool. Well, like I said, I'll just like pop occasionally into like seeing through Elvis's eyes as he flies all around the ship. Just have him like scout around, keep an eye out for anything weird.
Go ahead and just roll me a perception check for him real quick.
I think I have advantage on that too.
You do. 22. He doesn't see anything of note other than some general wildlife moving around. There's quite a bit of wildlife that was stirred up when a certain tree was completely shot from the ship, but other than that, everything out here seems pretty quiet and peaceful for the moment.
Oh,
Cool.
that was me.
But a couple hours pass, and you, Taylor, you start getting to the point where you think you might need to start actively looking for a place to kind of moor the ship, since you're getting a little closer to where you know an entrance to Krillaria and the Voiceless are.
I will let them know that we need to find a spot to land. If we even can land near there.
You've had some free time. You've had a bit of free time going through the manual and everything. Go ahead and roll me a quick Arcana check.
Oh, this should be fun.
13. You do find a page that mentions the gate spell and how to activate it, the specific one leading to the ship. You don't yourself know how to properly do that, but you get the sense that someone a little more magically talented might be able to read this and figure it out, essentially.
Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make some better track with this. And I explained it to her about the gate and everything.
I'll take a look at it.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, please. 15. You're able to piece it together a little bit more than your brother was. That central kind of engine in the middle that's the function of the gate spell. So there's a way on there to essentially cast the spell, even if you don't normally have the ability to cast that spell, since gate's pretty powerful. But essentially it opens up a portal at the nearest point of ground where someone can disembark. And it stays open for a certain set period of time. And it looks like there's some kind of portable rune that can be taken to reactivate it in order to open that up and go back onto the ship.
Huh.
Nice.
That's cool.
It's handy.
But you
Cool.
eventually do find the point. You feel like you're pretty close to the entrance. You might be able to find it better on foot, but you descend the ship just enough. So you guys are able to disembark if you wish to now. But
Can I use the spyglass,
you can.
like to help
Are you
look
using-
for, like to help spot like the entrance?
Oh. Anyone who's looking for the entrance can roll with advantage, or Finn can roll with advantage. You're trying to spot the entrance that you're familiar with, at least.
Yep. Working on. Sorry. Yes. So I get advantage, right?
Mhm.
Is that investigation?
Yes.
Okay.
Easily done. You're able to kind of, as you're peering over the edge with the spyglass, looking for it, your eye eventually catches onto, that familiar statue that at one point poisoned most of you.
Oh yeah.
And you have located the entrance. So, Taylor, you eventually stop the ship's movement fully and lock it to prevent it from being moved again, as it's floating about 500 feet off the ground. And you guys are able to disembark using the gate spell. You are back outside the entrance of Krillaria itself. What would you like to do?
I guess we should head in, right?
Let's go say
Yeah.
hi.
All right. You guys head up to one of the main entrances and use. You were given like the proper methods of communicating while you were outside, so that they didn't think that they were being invaded or anything like that. You go up to one of the rock faces and tap out the code. Eventually, it opens up, and One of the that looks like an elf soldier kind of peers out. You followed?
I mean,
I doubt it.
not as we
We
could tell.
flew.
Yeah, we were in a flying boat.
You were in a. He kind of looks up. Oh my gods!
That's ours now.
Isn't that the ship the Empire uses?
Mm-hmm.
Was.
Oh, there's
No.
one less of those blade things too.
Not anymore.
Technically
you
two
need
less.
you need to go report in. That's huge.
Oh, and Yord has thrown in with a rebellion.
Yeah, the commander's gonna want to hear that. Yeah, just go right ahead. I'll seal the door and I'll keep watch.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. You guys eventually make your way into the main area of Kurlaria, the kind of open mountain top, as well as the sheared off peak that some sunlight is coming in. It's starting to get a little later in the day. It took a few hours to get here, but there's still enough sunlight for you guys to navigate pretty quickly. Everybody kind of like stops what they're doing as you guys come in. They're kind of whispering, like, "Oh, they came back already. All right." But you guys eventually make your way to the command tent, and it looks like you guys have wandered into the middle of a meeting at the moment. There's a couple of individuals there that you do recognize. Obviously, your father, Toril Redfire, as well as a few that you have already met. The Overseer of Defense, Rel Birchwood, the Wood Elf Ranger who always seemed to have a stick up his ass against you guys. The Overseer of Life, Cornelia Eartharn, the old Fearbolg woman who Tez is a little more familiar with since he'd met her first and then was sent down into the caverns before taking a nap.
Yes.
The Overseer of Mystics, Avandre, who you've all kind of met, the very eccentric wizard. And the Overseer of War, Drekken, the hobgoblin who seemed to have recruited your previous pal Rix. There's also one individual that you don't really recognize. It looks like a slightly older gnome. Looks to be kind of fidgeting with some kind of weird mechanical device in his hands as he's kind of listening to the meeting half interestedly. Toril stops talking as you guys walk in. Oh, you're back already. Do you... Well, he kind of looks over at the group. Just give me a moment, everyone. We'll take a small break. He kind of wanders over to you two, the twins. Everything all right? What happened? Like,
Yeah. Sorry to
reports of
interrupt.
what- Oh, it's. They'll wait a little bit. Xtarian is barely paying attention anyway. We heard the news from Oakland originally, but we haven't heard anything since. What happened?
I just hold out the paper that I was given.
Kind of takes it, sees the seal on it, takes it, reads it. Holy shit. Holy shit. And he pulls both of you in for a hug. It's a little odd because you guys don't normally associate your father with a lot of affection. But it seems like he's kind of just caught up in the moment of this. You two have done it. This is the first victory we've ever had.
It seems like it's starting now. It's gonna pick up from here, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. We need to announce this. Oh my god.
We also got one of their airships.
Airship. We have an airship now?
We flew it here.
Kidding.
When I killed him, he turned into dirt. And he blew away.
Killed who?
Fordham.
Killed the traveler.
One of the blades.
And he just disappeared. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I don't think he's
I
dead.
don't
but
think he's dead. Oh, don't we have that magic book? We can see what he's doing.
You do still have the Book
Oh
of Good
shit!
Night.
I completely forgot about that.
I did too. Holy shit!
Wait, what was
you
it?
guys never seem to remember that you have that. It's
What was
the Book of Good Night, or the Good Night book. God.
Who has it?
One of you has it. I know one of you does.
I don't know shit.
You do. Spellcaster can expend. Did I put that in the notable items?
It
or
is
the identified
there.
Items? Okay. So yeah, you guys can ask a question, and the next time the moon rises, you can read it and potentially get an answer to it.
Oh, I didn't know you guys had this.
Yeah, we just gotta throw it in the bag and forget about it.
That's silly.
Yeah.
We should probably use it more often.
Yes.
Just gotta remember it
Every-
has 5 charges. I'm just reading up on it. We
Oh,
can
do
recharge
they-
those charges,
I gave
but it's
you-
a level
yeah,
3 spell or higher.
Ew.
Yep.
Oh, I can recharge that anytime. Anytime I've got
charges can
spell
also be
slots.
regained by rolling a d20 after a long rest. 16 or higher regains a charge.
So we technically can recharge it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can recharge it either manually or luck of the draw.
We should use this every day.
I mean, probably wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Somebody ask it a question and see how well it works. When we wake up tomorrow, we'll know the answer.
I mean, we just is Forden dead? And we can
Okay,
read
you
down
write-
tonight.
just
See
you
what
write that
yeah.
Fortin's doing.
Of course he is. I killed him.
Well,
Seemed too easy.
the dust is concerning.
I bet 20 gold he's not dead.
Oh, that magic wizard guy that identified our items. I'll pull out that paper shit that I took off of Forden's desk.
All right, so you're walking over to
Mm.
Avandre with it.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
that's
hello,
apparently.
Finn. What do you have for me?
When we fucking killed. Oh wait, I don't want to spoil the big surprise, but something happened, and I found this, like, paperwork.
Ooh. What is this? Goes and pulls out a set of very tiny spectacles, puts it on his nose, just kind of starts reading.
Apparently, Tyler could read the word "pact" in like
Well, I do see.
some other language.
I see bits of abyssal. I see bits of celestial, primordial, sylvan. Oh my, this is. None of this quite makes sense, but looks to be some kind of code. Give me about a day or two with it. I could probably figure this out. It doesn't seem too hard of a cipher to figure out. Do you have any other papers that were written like this?
Nope, just these ones.
Well, darn. Oh well, I could probably figure this out. Just give me a bit of time, and I'll get this right back to you once I figure out the cipher for it.
Cool.
But as you kind of finish this little side conversation with Avandre, or all kind of gathers everyone's attention. Excuse me, everyone. We have our first victory. Our new alliance with the Wolf Pack. My children here. They've managed to convince the city of Yord to become an independent state. Are currently in open rebellion against the Empire and are wanting to ally with us for a free Redwood Forest and a free North. And the room just kind of explodes. It's mostly the common folk, like the assistants and note takers and some of the soldiers outside that are hearing it. Pretty quickly, you hear the sound start expanding outside as the news is passed. People are getting excited about this. Most of the overseers still at the table aren't really reacting too much. The overseer of life, the Fearbolg woman, she seems to be happy and she's clapping along. Rel Birchwood, the overseer of defense, still looks like he has a stick up his ass. He's just kind of grunting. The gnome, the gnome who's kind of tinkering with stuff, still isn't messing with. He's still barely paying attention to anything. Avandre looks shocked and then looks back over at you, Finn, having kind of reckoned, "Oh, you got this because of that. That's the surprise. Got it."
Yeah.
And just kind of piecing things together. There's some excitement, a lot of excitement actually, and Toral's kind of like taken aback a little bit. He's kind of stepping back to let people enjoy this, not wanting to be, too much of like an imposing figure during this. And as it kind of dies down a little bit, he goes, "Well, it's our first real victory. Fuck it, let's get drunk." And once again, just like the night before in Yord, the small underground hidden city of Krillaria begins to set up preparation for partying. Most of the guards are still on guard duty since this is an active, war camp, and they don't want to let their defenses down even for that. But everyone starts they're breaking out the casks. Any people with specific other habits you kind of pick up on a couple of the smells. You definitely smell some red leaf, as well as a few other possibly illicit substances that seem to be getting used as some people are enjoying the night as things start going on. Is there anything specific you guys are doing? Because this is all starting up.
Not me.
No, I'm not like going fucking crazy, but
All right. Is anyone writing anything in the book?
oh yeah, no. We're gonna write we just asking a question, right?
Yeah. So the way it works, you write a question in the book, and then on the next moon rising, within 24 to 96 hours, it'll write the answer to that question in the book.
So is Fordham dead?
All right. You write it in the book, and it's only a couple hours later because it is now the 9th of planting, and it's also one of the lunar days. After midnight has passed and the moon's high in the sky, as some of you were, still out maybe partying and enjoying yourselves, Finn, you still have the book after writing in it. You check for the answer, and the answer comes back. Forden is still alive, in a sense. He will come back.
Dickhead's still alive.
Damn it!
Yeah, I
Oh,
figured.
that means that when we kill him the next time, if he really dies, we can get his stuff. For real this
Yep.
time.
If he doesn't just poof into dust again.
Yeah.
Well, he must be in pretty bad shape if we got his ship.
Well, maybe we'll figure out that those papers, maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay.
Are we gonna stay until we know? I'm assuming so.
Yeah. I mean, we're not in we don't have any place to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we need to. I'm assuming they want to retask us after that, point us someplace. Maybe they want us to go back to Oakland. Maybe they want us to go to Elvenon.
Yeah, they give
Like,
us
we got a
few
flying
different things
ship,
to do,
so yeah, we can do lots of different shit.
All right. As the night continues on and you have that conversation, are you guys sleeping down here in Kurlari, or are you going back to your ship?
Um,
I'll go back to the ship just to keep an eye on it.
I was gonna go back to the ship and enjoy my new bedroom.
Yes, let's sleep in the ship.
yeah, probably. Especially if we can just gate down real fast.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
take our dad up just to check it out.
It's true.
If he
And
wants
she's
to
like,
check it out.
Dad, you want me to
Yeah,
come see the ship?
right now it's like 1 a.m.
I mean, or
We'll
tomorrow.
show you in the morning.
That's probably a good idea. He's a little drunk right now.
Oh,
You actually, it's weird to see. Your dad has always been this kind of very stoic figure. Doesn't let off a lot of steam. Doesn't really let off a lot of emotion. And in the course of an hour, you've seen him hug both of you, excitedly announce something big that happened, and then proceed to get drunk. And it's kind of it's a little discombobulating seeing someone who you had this image of them in your head for most of your life, and that image is changing now. As it seems like he's in a better place, but also just enjoying the moment. He, canonically is very drunk right now.
Just goes, well, good night.
Night. All right. You guys head back to the ship. Eventually sleeping off the party libations of the night, you wake up fairly late morning. Some of you sleeping in a little bit as you all kind of gather around onto the deck, getting ready to use the gate spell. You hear the doors to the captain's cabin open after you've already left, Tyler. And standing there in the doorway of the captain's cabin is Ford and Darkwater. Looking at all of you, sitting on the middle of his ship, looks you up and down. Well, I don't recall giving you permission to board,
I thought you were
and
dead.
that is where we're going to leave off for the night.
Well, shit.
Oh, son of a
Nice.
bitch.
I was about to start shooting.
Well, we're going to see how that shakes out next time.
Cool.
And on that note, I'm going to end the recording. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Awesome.